Hi friends! So I've been doing a lot of work with variables lately, and I actually ended up creating another plugin which is sort of the opposite of the one that I shared last week. And this video is again the demo for this other plugin. This one is called Color Variables Creator. And what it does, it allows you to create variables from your own handcrafted scales. To show what I mean by that, let's do a plugin demo. We'll click Try It Out button. And then once you click that button, you'll get this test file. So here what we have is just a bunch of rectangles, and there are no variables yet. So if we wanted to create variables from all these colors, you're going to select them, and then you're going to run the plugin. Since we don't have any collections yet, it's going to ask you how you want to name your new collection. We'll just leave it like that to create. And now when you go into your local variables, you can see that you have a new collection that's called New Collection. And then you have all of your variables here. And as you can see, when the variables are created, it just takes the name of your layer. And if you use slashes in your name, it creates the respective groups. And if you already have a couple collections, when you run the plugin, you're able to choose which collection you want to create your variables in. So here are the ones that I just created. And also if you have multiple modes, let's say this is light mode and this is dark mode, then you'd also be able to choose which mode you want to assign your color to. So let's say we wanted to give this one a different color and then assign it to a different mode. So what you're going to do, you're going to select it, run the plugin, select our collection, select the right mode, and then it's going to update the value. A couple more things to keep in mind for naming. There are certain symbols that you can't have in your variable name. For example, if you have dots or curly brackets or $sign, it's just going to throw an error because you can't have those symbols as part of your variable name. So just make sure that if you want to create groups, then you use slashes. If for some reason you didn't want to create a group, but you still wanted some separator, you should be able to use something like dashes instead. And it's just going to create it as one string. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that, of course, when you're making your own scales from scratch, you usually end up with a situation like this, where you just have a bunch of rectangles, you don't have any names, and all the rectangles might be in absolutely random order on your layer panel. So there are ways to quickly organize that. The first thing that you would want to do is make sure that all of your layers are in the correct order. This is just going to help you batch rename them faster. So what I'm going to do is select all of this, then we'll do Shift-A to add auto layout. And now when you go inside, you can see that all the rectangles are now ordered instead of being in random order. And then I can do Command-Delete to remove auto layout. And now that I know that all of my rectangles are in the correct order, what I can do is use bulk renaming to set the correct name. So I'm going to select all of my rectangles, do Command-R, and then if I wanted it to be scale, then create a group, teal, and then we can do $sign and large N, and then 2 zeros. And then we're also going to start with 0. Click rename. And now you can see our lightest value got the 000, and then our darkest is 900. You can also see here that the auto layout ordered all of our rectangles in order, but it looks opposite to what we see on the canvas, which could be counterintuitive. If you had your rectangles in the order that matches the order on the canvas, let's rename this back to like rectangle. Then when you were going to set your color name, instead of using the big N, you would have just used the little n, 00, start with 0, rename, and then you'd get your names. This part can get a little confusing, like sometimes I mix up, should I use lowercase or uppercase n? But fortunately there are only 2 possible variations, so if you get it wrong the first time, you'll get it right the second time. Anyway, that's the plugin. I hope this will be useful for those of you who still like to create your own colors from scratch. Please let me know if you find any bugs or have any questions. Thank you for checking this out, and until next time, bye bye.